10 minutes.
15.
Okay, everybody here? Everybody here? All right, guys. My name is Mark Soto. I'm the Executive Director of the Honor Bowl. And I want to welcome you to be in this event. Let me tell you guys something right now. There's a reason why you're here. There is a reason. And I'm going to give you a little bit of that reason right now. But before I get there, I just want you guys to know how honored we are to have you guys here. You and your coaches, all of you, your fans that are coming here, we just want you to know that it means the world to us. I want to give you the history of the Honor Bowl. Why you are in the greatest high school football showcase in America. Why the 49ers sponsor us. I'm going to break it down for you by telling you guys a story of why this event exists. Back in 2010, I had a Marine son that was being sent to Afghanistan. He was on his 3rd deployment. And my son always used to tell me where he was going until this one trip. And he said to me, "Dad, I'm going to tell you at the party." And what my wife and I used to do is we used to go down to Camp Pendleton and throw the Marines a party. We'd buy a keg of beer. We'd get all the Marines together, go get some. However, this one was different. My son never told me until that day. At the party with all his friends around, he puts his arm around me and says, "Dad, let's go take a walk." So we took a walk. And on that walk, he says, "Dad, I want you to know where we're going. We're going to this area in Afghanistan called Same in Afghanistan. Do yourself a favor, don't Google it." What do you think I did? Immediately get my phone out and I Google it. I find out that he's going to this area where the British Marines had occupied this area for 4 years. And during that time, the 4-year period, they lost over 100 men. And over 1,000 were seriously wounded, most of them by losing their legs. This is where my son was going. I said, "Son, you sure this is where you're going?" Because, "Dad, that's where we're going. We're ready. We're going to take the fight to the end." So they left. They left. And it wasn't a few weeks later, they were landing in their fog. And my son tells me later, he goes, "Dad, as we were landing in the fog, we heard pings coming off the helicopter. As they were landing in the safety of their fog, they were getting shot. Those were the pings." And he said he looked out the window and they were surrounded by white flags. Now, when we think of white flags, what do we think of? Surrender? Not to the Taliban. The Taliban puts those sheets on the ground. And with black spray paint, they spray paint, "Death to the Americans! Death to the infidels!" But you and I, guys, they landed in the fog. They get acclimated as best as they can when they're surrounded by the enemy. It wasn't a week later that the first patrol leaves. They're ready to go get some. They're ready to go fight. The first patrol leaves, they get a mile down the road, they hear this boom! The boom was so loud that it shook them at their fog. Guys, the radio on the Marines. "Guys, are you okay? You okay?" Radio silence. They arm up in their Humvees and they go. What happened to that patrol? When they arrived on the scene, a bomb had detonated under the first Humvee. The bomb was so big that it lifted the Humvee off the ground, twisted it like a corkscrew, and 4 Marines were instantly killed. Under enemy sniper fire, those Marines got him out. This is where it gets crazy, guys. A few days later, I get a call on my phone back at home here in Sacramento, California. The call is, "Coach, something happened to our neighbors. We heard screaming, we heard crying, we saw Marines in dress blues come in. Something happened to their son." I end up finding who the family was. I call them, I go, "Is everybody okay?" Their son was killed. They were on their way to Dover to get his body. And on the way back, we were talking back and forth. They asked me to eulogize their son. And I eulogized their son, and I had the honor to do that. And I watched his body get lowered into the ground. Now it gets even crazier. After the funeral, I get a call on a satellite phone. It's my son from Afghanistan. in hell. Cracking of the satellite bone. Dad, yeah, I gotta talk to you. Son, are you okay? Are you okay, son? Is everything okay? Because Dad, Colonel tells me that a coach eulogized Victor Dew. Was that you, Dad? Yes, son, that was me. Because Dad, I was there. I cut him out of the vehicle. Instantly, my life changed. Instantly, I would never be the same. Our families would never be the same. No one would ever be the same after that. War came to Sacramento. And that's when me, my buddy Rick Sutter, my friend Patty Schumacher, who's the mother of Victor Dew, we all came together, we locked arms, and we said, we gotta do something to help these guys. They're coming home with chains, they got no legs, they can't walk, they need wheelchairs, their mind has changed from PTSD. That's when we created the Honor Bowl. Guys, I'm not just some coach that gets up here and gets emotional and starts crying when he tells this story. I've told this story over 200 times and I cry every time I do it. Because I want you guys to know why you are in this event. I want you to feel it in your hearts. I want you guys to take it out on that battlefield. I want you guys to know why you are in this event. Through the spirit of your athleticism, this is your way of giving back. Your coaches, your fans, every ticket that is sold, every sponsor that donates, this is your way of giving back. You got it, guys? You got it? Now I want you to meet a 3-5 Marine that was there when this happened. Let's give it up for Gunny Freddie Torres. You want 2 minutes? Hold on. Don't start alone. Patty wants 2 minutes.
I'm gonna go and start on something.
That's right. We get it. Thanks for coming out for us. I want to tell you a quick little story of when the battalion came back and I met up with some of Victor's buddies. Vic did play football. That's how Coach got to know him. But one thing that really struck me was a story that I was told by some of his buddies when they got back. And the big thing was that day, that morning. They knew they were going out of the fob. They knew that, the Taliban were around. They knew that there were IEDs planted. They knew all that. And guess what? You're going to be sweating bullets, aren't you? You're going to know that you are in such a dangerous area. And they were saying how nervous they were and how uncomfortable they were. And I was told that Vic stood up and said, hey guys, we're well trained. We got this. So with that comment, I'm going to go ahead and challenge you. Are you guys well trained?
Yes, ma'am.
You got it?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Then that means we're going to have a win out there, right?
Yes.
Okay. Now I want you to meet Gunnery Sergeant Freddie Torres.
All right, good morning, and you're going to hear it again. Thank you, seriously, from the bottom of my heart, for coming out here and playing and honoring those that served before us, that have gone before us, that have been wounded before us. Real quick, Gunnery Sergeant Freddie Torres, born and raised Tucson, Arizona. In 2001, I was an athlete just like you, looking to see what I was going to do with my life. September 11th happened. I knew I was joining the Marine Corps at that point. 2005, I graduated. 2006, I joined. I'm going to fast forward to 2010, that same deployment in Afghanistan with 3rd Battalion, 5th Marines, as we deployed in October. And I'm going to push it to December 30th of 2010. I'm going to share a story with you quickly that comes when you're facing a challenge, adversity, or some sort of roadblock that hopefully you can take a piece of that and apply it to your life. So December 30th, 2010, out on a patrol, there was a squad of Marines, about 20 of them out. And I'm going to paint the picture for you a little bit. The movie Lone Survivor with Marcus Luttrell on the top of the mountain, if you can picture it, what the village looks like, mud huts, dirt roads, valley full of dirt, that's what staying in Afghanistan looks like. So this patrol was on the way back after patrolling for 4 hours. They were back they were headed back to the patrol base, the PB. As they were making entry, the back of that squad, one of the Marines stepped on an IED, an improvised explosive device, a roadside bomb. Luckily, that bomb didn't go off all the way. That Marine's foot was shattered, broken ankle, got him back inside the patrol base, got him in a truck, got him in a helicopter, stateside, recovered well. Bad thing is that, or good thing is, the bomb didn't go off all the way, so the Marines had to go back out there and blow the rest of it in place, or else the Taliban would pick it up and reuse it. So 4 Marines went out there, they put a stick of demolition down, they were about to blow it, when the Taliban from the east opened up. They fired at them from 3 different multiple positions. 3 of the Marines ran to the north behind a wall, and the Marine that was about to pull the cord ran towards the direction of fire, putting up his rifle, suppressing back the Taliban. He ran that way. There was a little ditch and a waist-high wall where he was going to get behind and engage the Taliban back as he was suppressing. When he got there, he fell on his back, and when he tried to get up, he realized he was drenched in red. He had been shot twice. From the west, here comes one of the Marines that had taken cover to the other side, running, suppressing the Taliban, runs in on a knee, takes his scissors off, cuts the pants off, and immediately blood gushing out from the left leg. The femoral artery had been hit. So he takes his medical kit out, applies gauze, applies a tourniquet, calls the radio for the next squad that's inside the patrol base, the one that had just gone in to bring a stretcher out. They were going to carry him out, put him on the stretcher. 2-3 minutes later, they got out there. His best friend was part of that patrol base, or that patrol that came out. They put him on the stretcher, counted 3, they're about to carry him out. They engaged the Taliban. As they pick him up, they're moving him back to the patrol base. The one that's getting carried out looks at his best friend, puts his hand up and says, "Tell my mom I love her, and tell my boys I'm sorry." Tell my mom I love her, and tell my boys I'm sorry. As he squeezed his hand, were the last words that he said on the battlefield to those Marines. Get him in a truck, get him in a helicopter, get him stateside. Now let me tell you the second half of that story. And here's where the challenges, adversity, roadblocks can help you out in life. He's sitting down in a bed, or he's laying down in a bed in San Diego. His leg's getting amputated. That's what the doctors are going to do. The doctors are telling him, you're losing your leg, you're getting a prosthetic. By the way, you're getting medically retired because you're never going to be able to walk or run the same way again. That Marine took it as a challenge that now it's January 2011. By the time April 2011 came around and that squad that saved his life, he was going to be there standing tall, giving every single one of them a hug with his leg and still with his career intact. Now let me tell you, 3-4 hard months of a lot of work, a lot of dedication, a lot of passion. I'll tell you, April 15th, when that plane landed at March Air Force Base in Southern California, the stairs came down. I was standing at the bottom of that staircase, receiving every single one of my squad members, hugging them. Oh, and by the way, the next morning I took them out on a run on the hills of Camp Pendleton. When the doctor told me that I was going to lose my leg, when the doctor told me that my career was over. 12 years later, I stand in front of you sharing this story, not to put myself up here, but to tell you that you're going to face challenges. Because I was in your shoes before as an athlete. I was in your shoes before as a teenager. And I faced challenges, whether it was at home, whether it was relationships with school, whether it was athlete, fill in the blank. Whatever challenges you're facing, I'm telling you, you can overcome it. Because there's people out there that'll tell you that you can't or that you won't. And you got to go out there and show them that you will. I used to say this was they used to call it a warrior case study in the Marine Corps. My story was classified as a warrior case study. It's not. It was God keeping me around for the right reasons, for the right purposes. Maybe one of those purposes was to stand in front of you and share the story. Hopefully that with one of you, it reaches and you're able to overcome that adversity. So I thank you again from the bottom of my heart for coming out here and honoring those 25 Marines that are on that banner, on that track that you're going to see. We deployed with 1,000, came back minus 25, and you're out here playing in honor of those Marines. And I truly appreciate that. From the bottom of my heart, good luck out there. Take everything from them. Best of luck. God bless every single one of you.
That right there is inspiration, guys. That is inspiration. Coach, who is the young man that is going to be carrying the flag through the tunnel today?
Wilson.
buddy. Okay, so when I'm getting ready to announce you through the tunnel, right? Your team is going to be behind you. I'm going to hand you the flag, all right? Enter the tunnel when all the smoke and the lights start going on. Make sure your team funnels in behind you, and then I'm going to announce you to the fans, okay? All right? Whoop it up, buddy. Have fun waving that flag. You should be proud to be an American. You got it? All right. Coach, if you were standing over here, I'd be handing you. These are decals. These are helmet decals that go on the back of every helmet. We'd like to have every athlete have these, wear them throughout the year. There's a history to these. The ones that wear these decals go deep into the playoffs, right? So wear them proudly throughout the year, okay? At the end of the game, one of you will be getting a character award. One of you will be getting an MVP award. The coach votes on the character, the media in attendance vote on the MVP. Then I will be handing that coach the 2023 Honor Bowl trophy, right? Guys, now listen, go out there and have a great time. Have a great time. Compete for each other. Go out there and win. Get up here, come on, hands up, hands up, hands up, hands up, hands up, hands up. Now the Marines have a saying, and that is get some. When I say 3-5, I want you to scream get some as loud as you can. Get some! Get some! Get some! Get some! Get some, guys. Get on your feet, get on your feet. Let's go, let's go. Come on, fill in, fill in, fill in, fill in, fill in. Fill in, guys, fill in. Fill in, fill in, guys, fill in, fill in, fill in. All right, ladies and gentlemen, this is their second time in the Honor Bowl. Coach Brendan Nagel and Clovis East! Nationwide nonprofit whose mission is to educate student athletes, coaches, and community about the needs of our military veterans. This afternoon, before the start of the Clovis High School when a serviceman or woman is lost in the battlefield, it becomes customary to illuminate their right rifle, pointing downward along with their boots and helmet. Surviving members of the squad gather around and memorialize their fallen comrades. Some of the troops will pray, others might recall personal stories, but make no mistake, this is a ceremony that is taken very seriously. Why? Because every soldier knows the next ceremony might be for them. When a rifle is downward into the ground, it is a memorial to a soldier killed in action. It also signals a time for prayer, a breaking action to pay tribute to our friend and hero. Placing the rifles, gunning Sergeant Freddie Torres, drill instructor at Marine Corps Recruiting Depot, San Diego. Gunning Sergeant Torres, a Purple Heart recipient, was wounded in action in the Helmand Province, Afghanistan, 2007.
Combat boots represents the final touch of the soldier's last battle. Placing the boots are Leslie Way, President Rolling Hills Star Bombs, also, and Debbie Khan Valin, President Sacramento Star Bombs, Sacramento. The helmet is also a symbol of this great sacrifice, and the helmet is being placed by Gold Star Dad, Tom Schumacher, honoring his son, Lance Corporal Victor Du, 20 of Granite Bay, California. And finally, the dog tags identify the soldier's name so he or she will never be forgotten. Placing the tags is Gold Star mother, Patty Schumacher, honoring her son, U.S. Marine Lance Corporal Victor Du, 20 of Granite Bay, California, who was assigned to the 3rd Battalion of Marines, Camp Pendleton, California, and died October 13, 2010, in the Sangamon District of Helmand Province, of wounds sustained when enemy forces attacked his unit with an improvised explosive device. The dogs, tags, Patty, our CEO, is placing on the rifle are the actual tags that Victor wore when he was killed in action. Now, ladies and gentlemen, our Gold Star families and military members are centered on the 50-yard line. We would like to acknowledge our new fallen heroes from a tragic osprey crash on Melville Island, Australia, during the Joint International Training in August of 2023. No family ever wants to become a Gold Star family, but it is a title they wear in their hearts forever. At this time, we will honor our new heroes by remembering to say their names. I will say their name individually and will direct you when to repeat their name. After, we will have a moment of silence, followed by the playing of taps. Corporal Spencer R. Cullen, 21, of Arlington, Virginia. Say, Spencer Cullen. Spencer Cullen. Captain Eleanor B. LeBeau, 29, of Belleville, Illinois. Say, Eleanor LeBeau. Eleanor LeBeau. Major Tobin J. Lewis, 21, of Jefferson, Colorado. Say, Tobin Lewis. Captains, please get ready at the 50. We usually keep this up and let them flip the coin around it.
You want us to flip it right here, right?
That's fine.
Yeah, and this is Drew. He'll be your spokesman. Drew, this is Ty. Guys, gather in the middle, shake hands. Drew, hey.
Our number 8, Georgie. Number 7, Guy Lisa. Number 10, Kyle Larson. Number 69, Matt Ford.
All right, fellas, keep it close so we don't have to scream. Welcome to the middle field. The fact that you guys are standing here today tells me, my fellow officials, you are much more than players today. You are the captains. You are the leaders of your team. Everybody who came here today came to watch you play football. You do not want to watch us throw flags. All right? I ask the captain, please step forward. You have a problem to solve. Somebody who's your home player. When you solve it, we get to play football. The other guys throw flags. Make sense? Provo, you came the furthest. This is Honor Bowl coin 2023. The head states Honor Bowl. Tail is the pattern on the back side. I like to call it tail perfect here. What do you call it? Heads. Heads is call. We'll let it drop on the ground. And head, you won the toss. Provo's want to defer. You want the ball. Which goal do you want to defend?
We want to kick that way.
So kick that way. Okay. Blue in front of my partner, white in front of me.